Hey everyone, it's Callum from Cagefront here. Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, welcome to the channel. We have now finished the first fight night of 2025, being Mackenzie Dern versus Amanda Ribas. And on this card, we went 50-50. We went 7 out of 14. Now, I just got to be honest with you guys. Obviously, I want to make sure, even with all the events that happen where I have losses, got to state the losses as well as the wins too. So I went 7 out of 14. I will say some of the decisions, especially from the referees side of things, weren't the greatest, but aside from that, there were some underdogs that really did pull through against a lot of favorites, and there was a lot of mix up and mashing as well. So in this card, Mackenzie Dern, obviously to start off with, in the main event, she really did show out compared to 2019 when she did fight Amanda Ribas the first time. She has improved her striking. She was really on the offensive from the start. She just looked a whole lot better in general, not even just on the feet, but on the ground as well, because in their first fight, in the first round, she went 0-6 on takedowns, and she went 1 of 1 straight away. First takedown she attempted, she got Ribas down, and in the first round took that one on control. Then in the second round, Ribas came back, reversed it, got the hip toss, using that judo that I thought that she would really be able to utilize, as well as the counter striking to win. But obviously, getting in round 2, getting the hip toss and getting the control, she won that round, even though Mackenzie Dern did reverse it at the end of the round. But in round 3, Ribas got the hip throw again, got Dern down, but then Dern obviously transitioned extremely well, threw up the armbar, and then transitioned from the armbar to get into full mount, and then repositioned herself to get an armbar that was just more secure from there in the dying seconds of the third round to get another finish in that division. She's at 5 finishes now in strawweight, and I'm pretty sure the best is 6. So that's 2-fight win streak for her now. So there is honestly argument for her to possibly get a title fight. She is a fan favorite. You know, a lot of people like her for certain reasons too, but she is getting finishes. You know, she is winning as well. And look, in terms of a next matchup, for UFC 312, I do predict that Wei Li will pull through with the win against Tatiana Suarez. So in that case, I think it would honestly make perfect sense for Mackenzie Dern to fight Tatiana Suarez if Tatiana loses at UFC 312, because you've got that ground game expertise from the both of them, the wrestling versus the jiu-jitsu. And if Mackenzie Dern is being able to position herself against Amanda Ribas like that, there's a possibility she could do the exact same thing against Tatiana Suarez. And with one more win, she 100% can get a title fight. So I am definitely backing that fight to come up as the next one for her. Now, moving on to my Finish of the Night award, I gotta give it to Cesar Almeida, absolutely annihilating Abdul Razak Alhassan. And it was made richer because Alhassan was having some success at the start before that KO came. He dropped Almeida, and Almeida did a very good job defensively of making sure that he was giving his back, which made it harder for Alhassan to actually target his head, which was a very smart thing to do instead of going into guard, because if he went into guard against Alhassan, he would have light switched off for sure. But getting back up, getting pressed against the cage, and then just timing the check hook. And that's what he was trying to do the whole entire time. You watch the fight back, he is just really hunting that check left hook all day. And my God, getting that check hook perfect. Perfect tightness, perfect technique, straight on the button, just folded Alhassan like an absolute fucking lawn chair. He was out for like 10 odd minutes, I swear. I mean, we didn't get to see everything. Obviously, the cameras aren't going to pan it to him, but through the post-fight speech, and which Cesar Almeida's post-fight speech was pretty long, they were still trying to shuffle Alhassan out of the cage, down the stairs, and onto just flat ground. He was out. There was like 10 guys carrying him down those stairs. I mean, there's nothing else you can call this but the finish of the night. A fantastic win for Almeida. And I think it would be good to give him like Armen Petrosian, someone else that's like a good striker, and Armen Petrosian obviously needs some redemption from the Shara Bullet loss, or someone that just has a very good mixed up game that is on that older-ish side as well, like Jung Young Park, possibly as well. Someone that is good defensively too. I think either of those matchups could be good. Getting a win there, I mean, if he takes any of them out, could be looking at a top 15 shot from there. Now, looking at my Fight of the Night award, I am giving it to Roman Kopylov versus Chris Curtis. I don't know how on earth you do not make this the co-main event of this card. I mean, even on paper, without the result, I mean, we all knew it was going to be a good fight, but on paper, how do you not making this the co-main event? Like, don't get me wrong, I like Santiago Ponzinibbio, Carlston Harris. They did have a good fight. I'm not really talking about their fight in this. I don't think it was that eventful. The only thing that was eventful, which ties into this fight, is the ref's call. Now, the refereeing in this event, especially with these two fights, was not the greatest. Now, I think with Kopylov and Curtis, I don't think it was as bad. Yes, there was 1 second left to go. Obviously, Mark Smith can't exactly see the time. Like, he doesn't know there's 1 second left. There's 10 it's in a 10-second window. Obviously, he hears the clapper. But in terms, obviously, that safety and everything, Chris Curtis did get dropped, and obviously, you shouldn't walk off. Roman Kopylov shouldn't walk off. I mean, Jalen Turner learned that against Renato Moicano. So, you know, you shouldn't walk off from it. But obviously, there's not going to be a change in the result. I mean, realistically, it would have gone to a decision, which I think that's just what is hurting Chris Curtis's ego in terms of him actually getting finished. Because he is known as a very defensively just durable guy. He's a very, very good defensive fighter. And I think that just hurts the ego there. But yeah, regardless, Roman Kopylov was getting the win there. But when it comes to Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Carlston Harris obviously got hurt a decent amount in that third round. Like, he did get dropped. He was wobbled, but he got back up. They were face-to-face in the exchange. He was throwing back. And then Kerry Hatley, I'm sorry, but I mean, I shouldn't say this, but this guy, honestly, from the Jalen Turner and Bobby Green fight to this, I don't know if this guy needs to get sacked or something, because honestly, just the calls that are getting made in this consistency now is a bit nuts. Like, calling that, especially when Carlston Harris in the first round and the second round, accumulatively, he got 3 knockdowns and he was still flinging back against Ponzinibbio. Ponzinibbio was slowing down too. So I think it's just really not getting afforded that opportunity. Carlston Harris should have been complaining the way Chris Curtis should have been. That was actually worse than the Chris Curtis shit. So yeah, honestly, it is rough there when it comes to the refereeing, and that's obviously what I was talking about in the intro. But when we look at this fight, rant over. When we look at this fight, very, very slick jab, very nice body kicks, good like lead outside leg kicks as well from Kopylov. Just very, very quick. And there was a point where I was thinking through to the third round, I'm like, Roman Kopylov hasn't thrown a head kick yet, which was really weird because his head kicks, especially from his left, is so fast and just so brutal. And I'm just like, why is he not throwing this? And I mean, he was just waiting for the perfect time to do it. Obviously, it's easier said than done, I'm sure, against Chris Curtis being that defensively sound, but we know what happened when he obviously threw that head kick. That's what hit Chris Curtis, and that's what dropped him and led to the finish. But going through the second round, I know the judges had it 1-1. In the second round, you could see that Roman was kind of dropping down in cardio a bit, not as much as the commentary team was saying. They were saying he was like dead, basically. He wasn't. Like, he was slowing down a bit, obviously, compared to the output he was putting out in the first round. But when you look at Chris Curtis, just beautiful defense. I mean, especially with the uppercuts on the offense as well, he hurt Roman Kopylov pretty badly there. I mean, he had the volume there as well, but Kopylov was just landing the better shots overall. I think Chris Curtis did take that second round, but yeah, overall, moving into that third round, Kopylov just got a second win, was very impressive, mixing up the combinations together extremely well. He's targeting that hamstring as well of Chris Curtis too. And yeah, honestly, I think it was just a very impressive performance from Kopylov overall. I had him by a decision, but I'm not mad overall, even though there was 1 second left. Yeah. Regardless, it was going to be a KO, TKO, or a decision. Either way, Kopylov did get the win there. And look, ultimately, at the end of the day, for fighter health, Chris Curtis probably would have got split from consciousness. So at the end of the day, that's fine. But when we look at a matchup, Kopylov, this is something that you got to find hard to disagree with. You put Roman Kopylov with that style that he has, against Shara Bullet in a Middle East fight card. Some Middle East fight card. Obviously, Bullet has a lot of hype around him. They are going to be giving him someone that is ahead of him. They're not going to give him Kopylov, but that would be an amazing fight to make, especially if Bullet loses his next fight. Whoever he fights, if he loses that, Kopylov, with the way he's winning, if he comes back in to challenge for the top 15 and gets to fight someone with striking, not someone like Fluffy Hernandez that just grinded him out and choked him out, it could be a very, very interesting fight. And I mean, you can't tell me Kopylov versus Shara Bullet would not sell. I mean, that could headline a fight night easily for me personally. That stylistically is an absolute dream. So I'm hoping we get to see that in the future sooner rather than later. Now, moving on to my predicted upset of the night, C-Rod, the prospect killer. Christian Rodriguez beating Austin Bashi. He was amazingly calm in that fight, just like he was against Simon, Bulgarian, Rosas Jr. His transitional ability with the Granby rolls, his just ability to peel Bashi off the back was really good especially, and he was just really showing those levels to the game, which he did against all those other fighters he's fought before. I mean, he had great timing on his knees up the middle when Bashi was trying to shoot. And going into the third round, he was just feeling himself a whole lot more. He looked so much more confident on the feet, was stringing together some pretty nice 2 to 3 strike combinations as well. And as a 3-1 dog, that's why I had him as my upset of the night. I just think it was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm hoping any of you guys who watched this made some money on that, because yeah, I was straight on that. Honestly, I can't believe the disrespect on Christian Rodriguez. Nothing against Austin Bashi. He is very good, but he's young. He's young. There's a lot of room for improvement there. He is a very good wrestler. He's got cardio for days. I mean, his striking can use a little bit of work, but yeah, I mean, in terms of that just being one-dimensional in a sense, like very good when it comes to just ground game overall wrestling and submission base, but when you've got a guy that literally stuffs 15 out of 18 of your takedowns, you really need that striking to back that up, and that's where I really did see C-Rod being able to expose him there, and so he did a fantastic job. Now, obviously, him losing his last fight to a veteran, I want to see him against another one, but I want to see him against a stronger veteran that has good striking, not like a Rosa. I want to see someone like Alex Caceres. I want to see him fight someone like him that has a lot, like from the complete flip end, not some prospect. I want to see him try and beat a veteran. I want to see him against a guy that has strong striking so he can really compare that and use some offensive wrestling himself as well. So I want to see him against Alex Caceres. I think that would make for a great fight. Now, moving on to the Fighter to Watch award, got to give it to Jacobe Smith. This kid is an absolute problem. He's got amazing power. I mean, very, very clean left hook, straight after the right hand that he put down the middle, completely just annihilated Preston Parsons. I thought that he would be able to win this by a decision, because Preston Parsons, at the end of the day, the wrestling that he does have is good, as well as that UFC experience in combination. It's just like that against another prospect, but Jacobe Smith just gave him absolutely no room to breathe. He's just an athletic freak, very explosive on the feet. He's got the striking, he's got the KO power, you know, in contrast to Austin Bashi, he's got that power there and seriously good wrestling credentials as well. So I want to see him against someone that is a bit bigger, maybe a bit bigger, and has fought a lot of good opposition. I think a fight against like someone like Trevin Giles would be good. Someone that has a bit more pure strength on their side, someone that's down in the middle of the road. I think that would be a great test for him. I hope you enjoyed the first fight night of 2025 and this recap video. And if you want to see more MMA based content, definitely check out the video just here on the screen. And please like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.